Right, so I'm here with Asher Moses.
Hi.
And we're going to talk about your plans and the way the business is going and your plans for the future and the way you see the cab trade at the moment. You just launched a new app.
Yep.
And big advertising campaign.
Yeah.
In billboards all over London.
Correct.
I think nearly every cab driver in London's seen it, so very prominent. Do you want to tell us a little bit about, because I know when we last met that you was talking about, you gave us a little bit of information about what was coming. I think you wanted it to happen a little bit faster than it has happened, but these things always take time, so you're there now, so do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
So if we go back to the last time we met, probably 2-3 years ago, we just more or less were in the early stages of who is Sherbet. At that stage we only had our simple brand in London, and obviously some of you know Sherbet relates to a Sherbet dab, which relates to a cab, and also we live in a brand awareness world where people don't call cabs anymore.
Yeah.
Thereby my objective is creating Sherbet as a premium brand of taxis, electric ideally, with the world's best drivers driving them. And we've reached the stage now where we've launched our consumer app and our driver app, and rather than having loads and loads of work, our objective is to ensure that the drivers who are coming on board with the Sherbet network are getting more and more work, quality work, at an effective, good, cost-effective price.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about, I mean, there's a bit of confusion with drivers on Twitter, because I know there's a lot of questions, because a lot of drivers felt or believed that the app was only open to drivers that rent a cab off of Sherbet, and we've just been talking and you said that's not the case.
Absolutely not. In an ideal world it'll be great, it's great business practice to look after your own, but objectively there are drivers out there who really stand proud of what they do as professional drivers, and without those drivers it's not about me having hundreds of cabs. I need to have 100 quality drivers rather than 700 quality cabs. It's the drivers who make the app. It's not who's got the best app, it's who's got the best drivers. And it's those drivers that there are owner drivers out there who want to join the Sherbet network, who will service customers to a highest level, who will pick up passengers only in trousers and in a shirt and in a jacket, and ensure that our objective is to retain that customer.
Yep.
Because if we look at our marketplace, licensed London taxi drivers contribute £1.4 billion in licensed London taxi fares to the London economy. We are far from dead.
Yeah.
We're a market fragmented, but if we focus in on the good, we can then build outwards. But objectively, it's really focusing in on the world's best drivers, open to all.
So, do you want to tell us a little bit about the cost to the driver of the app? Because, you know, we know what Get charged, 13.5%, My Taxi 10%.
Sure. Sure, we're very transparent on our costs. As a whole, there's two costs to using our app. To download the app is free.
Yep.
And we will only dispatch work to people who put the app on.
Yeah.
And I'm not here saying I've got hundreds and thousands of jobs. I've got very unique jobs, priced at the right money, and winning back work into our industry from the right competitors. So our prices start, if you accept a job, it's £2 for that job, plus 10% plus VAT for the booking. The £2 is computers for your site licenses, and I spend on, you've seen without asking anybody money, I spend on marketing.
Yeah.
It's all about image and communication. The 10% will take me for a lifetime to get my investment back. So that's the price, 10% plus VAT and £2 for every job.
So what sort of guarantee can you give to a driver that signs up on the app that he's not going to, you know, with the £2 plus the 10%, is there a minimum fare, or is, I know that
my focus is airport bookings.
Right.
There's two parts I believe that we need to rebuild. One is own the lucrative business market of airport transfers.
Yep.
And two, really do what we were built to do, which is to do short bookings.
Yep.
That's what cab drivers and cabs were made to do. In our old days, we wouldn't go out of central London. We would want to stay in London and do 4 jobs of £5 and £10.
Yeah.
Eventually people made money and we started going Bal and Brixton all over, and we left the vacuum in London. That's how we lost our work. Let's go and not retreat. Let's focus in the zero emission zone. Let's focus on the Heathrow Airport transfer corporate work and rebuild from the inside rather than trying to take over everybody. And one thing for sure, if I can, sorry, you know, we had a comment the other day, we don't need another app. To be honest with you, anybody who invests and puts money into the taxi trade, I feel that people should go out of the way to actually embrace them and pat them on the back in order to bring in this money. And there are companies out there who want to invest in this trade, in this market. But as we say, the rhetoric is sometimes more powerful, their words are more powerful, and they look at it that this is not a market.
I think there's a concern amongst drivers in London that some of the corporate apps are throwing drivers off, or expelling drivers, and where the app work is becoming a big proportion of a driver's income. Once he's then not able to work that app, he loses a major percentage of his daily income. And I think without sort of guarantees in place, that's why some drivers are concerned of the corporate apps control of the market as such.
There's always going to be people who are going to come on board and look to control a £1.4 billion marketplace. Whether it's me, whether it's Get Taxi, whoever it is. The other thing is London is an iconic platform for any business app opportunity to grow. So to give a driver a guarantee that I will keep a driver on my circuit, I will not keep a driver on our booking circuit if they don't represent the Sherbet values to the higher standards. And to be honest with you, it's not me going to make the decision. I'm hoping that my drivers will be able to spot the rogue drivers.
Can I ask you a question on that? Because this is one thing that I'm a great believer in. If you find a driver's not meeting your expectations as a driver on your app, rather than just expel them, would you call them in for training or to educate them first?
I do apologise. I totally don't believe in expulsion. You know, we all make mistakes. You know, mistakes make me as a whole. But you know, if drivers are if they're going out of the way to have a filthy, dirty cab on a constant basis, I do not want them to carry a Sherbet brand. If they're wiping down their cab because it's dirty and it's raining, I want them to be part of Sherbet. So it's more about the quality driver. If the I'm not here to expel anybody. We're all in the business to do one thing: keep the wheels working 8 hours a day. I've got to do that for you, and that's what you want me to do. Can't guarantee it. We're lucky we've got the hail. Now, can I give you incremental, profitable revenue that you're not getting? And I will only give that to drivers who appreciate that we are only looking to develop a high-quality product and retain our customers. If we don't need new customers today, we need to retain the 1.4 billion that we've got through customer service.
Do you not feel though that we need to educate the younger generation into using taxis? Because obviously the older generation, unfortunately, we all know that one thing that's certain in this life is that you, at some point down the line, you pass away, and without gaining new customers, our customer base is going to diminish.
Well, if you have a look at the competitors' marketplace, technology apps have, without doubt, whether we like it or not, encouraged the use of taxis, whether we call not taxis, I have to retreat, the use of transport in the youth marketplace through encouraging cheap fares. These youngsters eventually go to work for the prime companies, the blue chip companies. They don't want to be squashed in their small little cars. They want, whether it's an S-Class Mercedes or today a beautiful electric taxi that you have, that no other private hire market or app marketplace can compete. We have a private passenger compartment that I can talk totally in privacy in the back of a vehicle. And most people, when they travel, what do they want? A business class compartment. Well, you've got that in a London taxi, and that's our taxis.
So, where do you see the app going in the future? I mean, how many drivers do you want to attract on the app? I mean, are you looking to attract all the trade, half the trade, a couple of thousand drivers, or?
I think on the word we've got to be careful of the word trade, because in a sense we've kind of said the trade as itself has to carry on with their business. You know, the trade is completely popcorn, and let's leave that. Let's put a line on the trade to carry on the way you're doing it, because we can't change you. But the guys who want to come on the other side of the fence, the quality drivers, and you're not going to get 22,000. If I'm lucky, I might have 2,000 prime drivers. That would be an absolute coup, because I believe with even a handful of the best, the light is still open and we can work to grow.
Yeah.
We're far from dead.
Now, your fleet you've been building over the last... I mean, when I first come to see you, you just bought the first 10 CX4s, which you were putting all chrome bits on and things like that. And then when I spoke to you, because we had dinner at Novikov, and that, which you was kind enough to take me to, you'd gone up to about 300 at the time. Do you want to tell us where you are now?
We're 700 plus, I'm proud to say, but on the other hand, most people in this business wouldn't be proud to say they got 700 vehicles, because with the 700 vehicles in the London taxi market, it's a scary position to be in. It's not a great position to be in. You've got a market that's changing with rapid speed, that's reliant on drivers, that vehicles are depreciating faster than anything that can control. And it's not a strong marketplace that we can rely on from the old days of running fleets. All our fleet owners who may be listening to this know that fleets don't make money. It's an evolvement of trying to sweat an asset out over 15 years. Today, even the 15-year rule could be 10, could be 12. So the unknowns in this fleet, 700 taxis, it sounds great, but it's a big capital expense. It's hard to work with 700 plus drivers. But eventually we will evolve to only have the best, absolutely the best.
So, you also got one of the largest fleets of electric CXEs in London as well, I believe.
Correct.
How many have you got now?
If I'm not mistaken, 37 or 38 vehicles.
Is there plans to add to that at the moment?
LEVC, I have to say, have produced, or Geely have produced, a fantastic vehicle that gives an excellent passenger ride, a vehicle that we can now start to compete in the marketplace. For me, personally, it feels like a Bentley Beluga. Okay. On the other side, for the driver's side of things, when you sit in that front passenger compartment, I haven't driven 8 hours for a long time, but I have driven for 2 hours on a cocoon effect of an enclosure where you don't feel tired after a day's work. It's a breath of fresh air to our business. It's an expensive breath of fresh air. We are guinea pigs in this industry. But, you know, if you're leaders in the industry, when we are world leaders, we cry about it and moan about it. We've taken the leap. You know, we are 650 vehicles, LEVC, on the road. We need to embrace these vehicles, and we need to work closer with the public to get them involved in these vehicles and the quality of these vehicles.
One other thing that was really interesting, when we last spoke, it was an idea that you had. I mean, when you had your launch at the City Hall, you had the presentation of the app. That was what, 2-3 years ago.
3 years ago.
And you know the way the fleet was going, and you know the way you expected things to grow.